Let's now start writing some tests within this Django application. Now what we're going to do in this video is we're going to create a couple of models using the Django models.py file, and these are going to map to database tables under the hood. And we're going to write some logic and some functionality within these models that we want to test, and that's where we're going to start in this series with actually writing some Django tests. Now Django model classes, they map to database tables, but they also often contain business logic and validation rules. And these things have to be tested within the context of your application. So what we're going to do is create a couple of models here. I want to create a user model, and that's going to override the Django built-in abstract user. So in order to do that, I'm going to go to the documentation on Django where we import the abstract user, and then we create a subclass of that called user in this case. So let's do that just now. We're going to import abstract user, and we're going to subclass it using this user model. And this is a way to basically extend the built-in Django user model, and it allows you to add properties and add methods to that built-in model very easily. And once you've done that, you can point the auth user model Django setting to this new user model. So let's go back to VS Code, and what we're going to do here is reference products.user, which is the new user model that we have. So we need to go to settings.py in order to do that, and I'm going to scroll to the bottom of this, and let's define that auth underscore user underscore model setting. And we point that to the products application, which has the user model. So that's just telling Django that this is the model that we want to use in this application as the user model. And once we've done that, we can create a second model here, which I'm going to call product. And that's going to inherit from the built-in Django model class. And a lot of the tests that we're going to write here are going to be part of this product model. But we need the user model too, because later in the series, we're going to test certain functionalities that use authentication in Django. So we're going to need the concept of a user for that. Now on the product model, I want to add 3 fields, one for the name of the product, one for the product price, and the third field is going to be for the stock count. So let's start with the name, and that's going to be an instance of a Django models.char field. And that requires a max length parameter, and let's set that to 128 characters. And then we can create the price field, and let's set that to a decimal field, which requires 2 arguments, one for the max number of digits for the decimal field, and we're going to set that to 10. And we also need the number of decimal places, and I'm going to set that to 2 here. So basically we can allow the decimal field to have 10 digits, and we're allocating 2 of those for decimal places because this is a price field. And once we've done that, let's create the final field, and that's going to be stock count, and that's going to be a models.integer field. So it should be integer field here, and let's give it a default value and set that to 0 here. So now that we have the 3 fields, we're going to add some logic to the product model for some of these fields. Now what I'm going to do to start with is define a clean method on the model, and the clean method is going to perform a little bit of validation on some of the data. Now what we're going to check first of all is self.price, and if that happens to be less than 0, what I want to do is raise an error in this case. And I want to raise a validation error, so let's go to the top here, and I'm going to paste this in. So from django.core.exceptions, we're importing validation error, and then we can raise that here if the price happens to be less than 0. And we can pass a message into that, for example, price cannot be negative. And just like the price, we can do the same for the stock count. So what I'm going to do is copy this logic here, and let's add a second condition to the clean method. And we're going to check self.stockCount, and if that's less than 0, we're going to say the stock count cannot be negative too, and that makes sense from a logical perspective. Now what we can also do within a Django model is we can create model methods for particular pieces of business logic, and we can also create properties. So let's start with a property, and what we can do is we can decorate a function in Python with the @property decorator in order to create one of these. Now what we're going to do is create a method here called inStock. So it's going to take self as a parameter. Because this is a property, it can't take any arguments beyond self. And that's even though they're defined as functions or methods on the object. So what we're going to return here is a boolean. So we're going to return a boolean. I'm going to mark that as returning a boolean here. And we're going to return something to do with this stock count. So if it's in stock, the stock count is going to be greater than 0. So self.stockCount is greater than 0. That's the property we want to have here. And we want our clients to access this property or other parts of the code to access the property, not by calling it as a function, but just by accessing .inStock. And that's going to return true or false. Now we're going to have to write some tests for this just to make sure it's working, but we'll do that very soon in this video. Let's add one more thing to this Django model. So for the product model, I want to add a method, and we're going to call this method getDiscountedPrice. So that's going to take self as normal, but it's also going to take an argument called discount percentage. And when you call this method with a discount percentage, it should give you an amended price of the given product. Now I'm just going to paste some code in here. So what this is going to do is calculate and return the discounted price. And it's going to take the existing price on the object, so that's self.price, and it's going to multiply it by this statement here. So imagine that we passed in 10% as the discount percentage here. What's going to happen here is it's going to take 10, it's going to divide it by 100, and that's going to give 0.1. So that's then going to be subtracted from the 1 here. So 1 minus 0.1 will be 0.9. And if we multiply self.price by 0.9, we get the price after a 10% discount. Now I think I've explained that correctly. So what we're going to have to do is write some tests just to make sure that that functionality works as expected, because if we have some kind of e-commerce site and we're giving out discounts, we need that to be accurate. We don't want to be accidentally giving out the wrong price. That could have major implications for our e-commerce store. So now that we've defined the two models, and that's the user model and the product model, what I want to do is go to the terminal here, and we're going to run a command, and that's python manage.py, and we're going to run the make migrations command. When we run that, it creates our initial migration file for the products application, and then we can go back to the command line and we can run the migrate command. Now when we run that, it's going to create the SQLite database, as you can see on the file system, and it's going to create the tables for all of the different models that Django provides out of the box, for example in the auth application, as well as the table for the products models that we've just created. So now let's minimize this terminal, and we're going to start writing some tests for this functionality. So within the products application, we have a tests.py file. What I'm going to do instead is create a new folder here called tests, and I'm actually just going to delete the tests.py file. We don't need that anymore, so let's just get rid of that. And within the tests directory, we're going to create different files for different components within the Django application. So for example, test models.py is what we want to do, and we're going to write tests for the models in the products application in this file here. And I'm also going to add here a dunder init file, so dunder init.py, and that way Python will know that the tests module here is to be treated as a package. Once we've done that, we can go to test models.py and we can start writing tests for the product model. Now let's add 3 imports to the top of this file. So we're going to import the validation error from django.core.exceptions. And that's because we want to test that a given method, and that's the clean method here, will raise a validation error under certain conditions. As well as that, we're going to import the test case class so that we can create our own test suite. And finally, we'll import the product model because that's what we're actually going to test here in testmodels.py. So let's now create a test class, and I'm going to call this product model test, and that's going to inherit from the test case from Django. And within this class, let's create a setup method. And this setup code will allow some code to be shared between our different test cases. And I want to create a variable here called self.product, and we're going to create a product instance here, and we're going to give it a name of test product. Let's say a price of 100 and a stock count of 10. So every single test method that we write will now have access to self.product, and that means we can share this logic or share this particular object between those tests. Now let's create our first test here, and we're going to test the in-stock property of the model. So we have a product here that contains a stock count of 10, and because the stock count is 10, self.product is actually in stock. So what we can do here is call assert true, and we're going to reference self.product, and we can reference the in-stock property that we added to that. Now we expect that to return true because there are 10 items in stock, but I'm going to add a comment here, and what we want to do is set the stock count to 0 and test this again. So self.product.stock count, we're going to set that to 0, and then we want to copy this assertion here, and we're going to change the assertion method to assert false in this case, because when the stock count is 0, the in-stock property should return false. So now that we've written the first test in this class, what I'm going to do is go to the terminal at the bottom, and we can run python manage.py test. And you can see it's found one test, and that test is passing. We have the OK message appearing here. And at the end, it's destroying the test database for the alias of that default database. So again, at the start of the test, it's going to create the test database. At the end, it's going to destroy that. So we have isolation of our test database. Now that we have test in stock, let's create a second test method here. So I'm going to go down below that, and let's create a test method here called test get discount price. So basically we're going to test what we had on the model here, and that was this method called getDiscountedPrice. When we pass a percentage in here, we want to verify that what we get back from this return statement matches what we expect. So that's what we're going to test here in test getDiscountPrice. So I'm going to create another self.assert statement here, and let's reference self.product, and we're going to call the getDiscountedPrice method. And let's say we passed in a discount of 10%. We want that to equal some value here. So if we go back to the setup method, the price for the given product was 100, let's say dollars. It doesn't matter what currency it is. So if we pass a 10% discount, we expect to get back a price of 90. So I'm going to pass in 90 here as the assertion. So we expect calling this method here with a 10% discount to give us a value of 90. And I'm going to copy this line down twice. So we're going to create 3 assert equal statements here. For the second one, let's pass in a discount of 50. And when we do that, for the given price of 100, let's say we get back the value of 50, that's half price. And finally, I want to test an edge case. So if we pass in 0, a 0% discount should return the value of the original price, which was 100. So now that we've written that, again, we can go back to the terminal and we can run python manage.py test, and you can see everything is running okay. And just to prove that, if we changed one of these values from 50 to 60, if we rerun the tests here, we can see we get a failure. And this is the output in Django. If you get a failure during one of your tests, you can identify which test method caused the failure and which line of code that was here. So it was line 19 within test getDiscountPrice, and you can see the line of code that raised that assertion error. So let's change that back to 50 here, and we're going to create a couple of extra methods here. So let's create one called test negative price validation. Now the idea here is that when we have a price that's negative, we should raise this validation error. So let's check that out just now. What we can do here is we can reference self.product, which has a price of 100, but we can actually change that. So for example, self.product.price, we can set that to -10. And then we can use a Python context manager here, and we can call self.assertRaises. And if we look at the signature here for this, or if we look at what appears in the documentation, the assertRaises method will fail unless an exception of the class that's provided as an argument is raised by the callable. I think it's best demonstrated if we scroll down here. So for example, we have an exception and we want to raise that exception, or we expect that exception to be raised when we perform some kind of logic here, for example, calling this function. So what we want to see here is a validation error when we call self.product.clean. So for example, let's go back to models.py. The clean method here is where it's going to check the price, and it's going to raise the validation error if the price is negative. So we're going to check for that validation error here in this context manager, and we need to reference self.product again, and when we call the clean method, that's when we expect to raise this validation error. So again, let's test this out on the command line. I'm going to clear this output, and we can rerun python manage.py test. This time we've run 3 tests and all are okay. And we can do a similar test here for the stock count. So if we go back to models.py, within the clean method, we were also checking self.stockCount. So if we go back to test models here, I'm just going to copy this code and I'm going to paste it into the class just below. And let's change the name here to test negative stock count validation. And before we were changing the price to -10, but let's now change the stock count to -10. And again, we're going to expect to see the validation error when we call the product clean method. So let's try this last test out here. And we're going to see we have 4 tests and all are passing. So what we've done in this video is we've created a couple of Django models, and the notable one for this video is the product model, where we have 3 fields and we have a model method and a model property, as well as some validation logic on the model for 2 of the fields, the price field and the stock count field. And this custom business logic here that we have in the method, the property and the validation rules, that's what you want to test when you have a Django model. You don't need to test the built-in functionality for char fields and decimal fields and so on, because Django itself has robust and well-tested approaches for those already. But any kind of definitions that you have on the model for business logic and validation, that's what you want to test. And that's what we've done here. We've created a test case subclass. We have a product being created in the setup method. And then we have a variety of test cases here. These are just methods on the class. And we can actually check that business logic. For example, checking the in-stock property returns what we expect. given a set of inputs. And similarly for the getDiscountedPrice functionality, these methods that we define on the models, we need to make sure that these return the correct values, otherwise we are potentially going to have big problems if we're selling items online. And we need to test edge cases, for example having values such as 0 being passed into these methods. So it's important to test these different scenarios and not just write a single assert equal within the test method. And finally, we have some tests for validation, and we've introduced this statement here, self.assert raises. And again, this assertion actually comes from Python's unit test package. So from the test case class within the unit test, and that's the one that Django's test case extends, that's where the self.assert raises is defined. And that's important for your tests because often you want to check for validation issues and you want to make sure that the correct exception or error is raised at a given time when the inputs meet the given criteria for those exceptions. So that's all for this particular video. We're going to move on in the next video and we're going to introduce testing of database constraints within Django models. So that's another layer of testing that's more focused on the actual underlying database itself. We're going to move on to that in the next video.